Organizational behavior presented by M. Sureka, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of Management, JJ College of Arts and Science, Autonomous, Pudukkottai. Perception. Perception. People often see the same phenomenon differently, both the organizational context and outside the organizations. For example, in relation to a strike, the manager may perceive the immediate cause of the strike as trivial, while the workers may see it as very serious. Similarly, when there is any accident in the factory, the supervisor treats it as the carelessness of worker, while the workers may treat it as high-handedness of the management and lack of adequate provisions or security measures. Thus, the situations remaining the same, causes have been assigned differently by different group of persons. In order to understand the significance of this phenomenon, one has to understand perception and its different aspects. The behavior of people is according to their perception. Perception is the cognitive process. Cognition is basically a bit of information, and cognitive process involved in ways in which people process that information, like central processing units of a computer. Human beings also are information processors with one basic difference. While as the computers process a piece of information in the identical manner with identical output, human beings may differ because of their difference and uniqueness. Definition of perception. Stephen P. Robbins has defined perception as perception may be defined as a process by which individuals organize and interpret their sensory impressions in order to give meaning to their environment. So another definition of perception, B. von Haller-Gilmer defined perception as the process of becoming aware of situations, of adding meaningful associations to sensations. Perception is an intellectual process through which person selects the data from environment, organizes it, and obtains meaning from it. The physical of obtaining data from environment known as sensation. Perception is the basic cognitive or psychological process, the manner in which a person perceives the environment affects his behavior. Thus, people's actions, emotions, thoughts, or feelings are triggered by the perception. Perception, being an intellectual and psychological process, becomes a subjective process, and different people may perceive the same environmental event differently based on what particular aspects of the situation they choose to observe, how they organize this information, and the manner in which they interpret it to obtain their grasp of the situation. Thus, the subjectively perceived really in any given settings may be different for different people. Why is perception important in the study of organizational behavior? Because people's behavior is based on their perception of what reality is, not reality itself. The world as it is perceived is the world that is behaviorally important. Perception and sensation. There has been a great deal of misunderstanding about the relationship between sensation and perception. The physical senses, vision, hearing, touch, smell, and taste are different from the perception. The sensation essentially deals with very elementary behavior that is largely determined by physiological functioning. Perception, on the other hand, is much more complex and broader than sensation. It is virtually a cognitive, psychological process of sensing, filtering, and modifying the raw data. As sensation plays an important role of people in their private lives, perception plays a crucial part in organizational life. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Factors that influence perceptions. Perceptual process. Perception is essentially a psychological process. It is the chief mechanism by which people come to know about their surrounding environment. Perception is the process whereby people select, organize, and interpret sensory stimulations into meaningful information about their work environment. There can be known behavior without perception, and perception lies at the base of every individual behavior. The best supervisor is one who can accurately and precisely estimate employees' perception and make his moves. Perception is a process that operates constantly between reality and us. There are three well-noted mechanisms of perception. Section takes account of only those stimuli that are relevant and appropriate for only those stimuli that are relevant and appropriate for an individual. Perceptual organization is concerned with harnessing the perceived inputs and converting them into a meaningful shape or form. The final mechanism, perceptual interpretation, deals with inference from observed meaning from the perceived events or objects. From it emanates the resultant behavior of individual. Stages of perceptual process: attention and selection. Constant bombardment with the sensory information is handled by screening the information both consciously and unconsciously for what is important. Second stage is organization. Use schemes or cognitive framework to organize incoming information. Example, we use our person schemas to organize informations about other people into prototypes. Example, script schema define what one sees as the appropriate sequence of events in a situation. Third is interpretation, personal reasoning as to why something is the way it is. Fourth stage is retrieval, easy of access to memories influenced by prototypes. What are common perceptual distortions? Common perceptual distortions include stereotypes or prototypes, halo effects, selective perception, projection, contrast effects, self-fulfilling prophecy. Stereotypes or prototype combines information based on the category or class to which a person, situation, or object belongs. Strong impact at the organization stage. Individual differences are obscured. Halo effects occur when one attribute of a person or situation is used to develop an overall impression of the individual or situation, likely to occur in the organization stage. Individual differences are obscured. Important in the performance appraisal process. Selective perception. The tendency to single out those aspects of a situation, person, or object that are consistent with one's needs, values, or attitudes. Strongest impact is at the attention stage. Perception checking with other persons can help counter the adverse impact of selective perception. Projection. The assignment of one's personal attributes to other individuals, especially likely to occur in interpretation stage. Projections can be controlled through a high degree of self-awareness and empathy. Contrast effects occur when an individual is compared to other people on the same characteristics on which the others rank higher or lower. Self-fulfilling prophecy. The tendency to create or find in another situation or individual that which one expected to find, also called the Pygmalion effect, can have either positive or negative outcomes. Managers should adopt positive and optimistic approaches to people at work. Impression management. A person's systematic attempt to behave in ways that create and maintain desired impressions in others' eyes. Successful managers use impressions management to enhance their own images or sensitive to other people's use of impressions management. How can the perpetual process be managed? Distortion management. Managers should balance automatic and controlled information processing at the attention and selection stage, broaden their schemas at the organizing stage, be attuned to attributions at the interpretation stage. Thank you.